cooking at home with the real Lombardinos. We are still observing the quarantine, safer at home, and we are returning to make a video tonight. It's pizza night at our house. We haven't made a video in a while because our restaurant, Lombardino's Italian restaurant here in Madison, Wisconsin, has reopened for some back alley takeaway every Thursday and Sunday night. So that's kept us really busy as we're trying now to transition into the new reality that we have to face with our restaurants. Our other location, the Tipsy Cow, is also open for curbside takeaway on Friday and Saturday nights. But tonight I'm home and I'm going to make pizzas. I'm going to show you how to make a no-knead pizza dough that's very simple to put together. You weigh out your ingredients, let it sit out for 24 hours, and then portion it up into some balls. And I have a lot of toppings. Some of my favorite things here, I'll show you a quick no-cook tomato sauce that I like for pizza. I have some sausage from Fraboni's Italian Deli here in Madison. Bennett Fraboni makes all of our sausage. We've used over 50,000 pounds of his sausage in the last 20 years. We're real excited about that. With some Carbonara, my daughter's favorite is banana peppers and pepperoni. And then we're gonna do a traditional Margherita. I'm gonna start by making a no-knead pizza dough. This is a recipe that comes from the famous New York City baker, Jim Lahey. I've been to his pizza restaurant out in New York City, been to Sullivan Street Bakery and Company, his great pizzeria, and it's a great recipe. It's really simple for home use. It's not the one that we use at our restaurant, but it works great for home use. It's really a no-fuss kind of recipe. So what we do is, I'm gonna start here with a scale, and we're gonna do everything in grams. So we're gonna weigh everything. So I start up my scale. I have a digital scale, you can buy these online. Make sure that the mode here is in grams. So I move it to grams. And then I'm gonna put a bowl on here and hit this Tare button down to 0. So I've zeroed out my scale. And I need 500 grams of flour. We're using pizza flour that we have at the restaurant. It's Caputo 00 Italian flour. So 00 flour is a flour they mill in Italy. It's a white flour. It's lower in gluten and it's milled much finer than all-purpose flour here in the US. So I want to get this up to just about, a little short, I have a little more over here. 500 grams of this flour. So using grams, you're gonna get a very accurate dough. There we go, 501. So to that, I just wanna add 1 gram of dry yeast. I'll keep it right there. I can zero it out again. And then I need 16 grams of flour, or of salt, that is. 15, just a little bit more. There we go, 16 grams of salt, 1 gram of yeast, and then we need 350 grams of water. So it's only 4 ingredients: flour, yeast, salt, and water. So we're looking for about 350, right there, close enough. So I'm gonna add that in. So we're gonna mix these 4 ingredients: flour, salt, yeast, and water. We're just gonna bring it together until it forms kind of a shaggy dough. I wanna get all that moisture off my hands here. I have some gloves on, makes it a little easier to work with. Just make sure all the flour is incorporated into the water. You're gonna get a nice shaggy little ball like this. Drop that in. And then we're gonna wrap it. And then we just let it rise at room temperature. We want it to be about 72, 75 degrees. So leave it in your kitchen, 24 hours, come back to it, it's ready to go. So I put together my no-knead dough. Like I said, this is gonna sit for 24 hours. Then after 24 hours, it will look like this. This is one that I made yesterday. Sat out on the counter and fermented. So I'm gonna portion this, it makes 4 pizzas. So I get my hands nice and floured up. I'm gonna pull this dough out of the bowl onto a floured work surface. So I want that to just kind of fall out right there. And And this is a very moist dough. We found that using a high level of hydration, very moist dough, creates a much crisper crust, which is what we're going for. And this is not a true Neapolitan pizza. It's kind of a hybrid, New York meets Neapolitan style. So I'm gonna take this little tool. It's a bench knife or a bench scraper. I'm gonna try to divide this up into 4 equal parts. They're not gonna be perfect, but as close as you can get. Then, with some floured hands, I'm gonna form these into balls. Flour it up, just enough flour that you can handle it. You don't wanna over flour this. Then we're gonna tuck everything inside there. Turn these into nice little balls. These will go onto a well-floured half sheet pan or a cookie sheet. So this is how we start the second rise. So we had a 24-hour ferment overnight, room temperature, and then we need to portion the dough out into little balls, and it's gonna have a second rise for 1 hour while we preheat our oven and make our sauce. So we'll show you how to do that. I have my oven at 500 degrees, which is as hot as it will go, with a pizza stone in there. It's been heating for about an hour. When I have the dough all set, I'm gonna flour this. I'm gonna take a clean kitchen cloth, drape it over the top, leave it in a warm place for about an hour. My quick no-cook tomato sauce starts with San Marzano tomatoes. So these are whole plum tomatoes packed in juice. They're from Campania in southern Italy. They grow in the shadows of Mount Vesuvius near Naples, Italy. A lot of people argue that they are the perfect sauce tomato because they have a great balance of sweetness and acidity, but that's up for debate. There's plenty of good local tomatoes as well. So I'm gonna start with the tomatoes. I'm gonna put some good olive oil in there, some extra virgin, probably like a 1/4 cup. A nice old school pizza sauce always has a little bit of dried oregano, and I kind of want that New Yorky, sweet 1950s kind of sauce. I'm gonna give it a tablespoon of sugar. Takes away a little of that tinge of the canned flavor. Good seasoning of salt and pepper. Now the last thing I'm gonna add, one of my favorite ingredients, bomba calabrese. It's an Italian fermented chili paste from Calabria. So Calabria is just south of Campania on the boot of Italy, and it's known for spicy peppers, onions, eggplants, that kind of thing. So that's where a lot of spice comes from in Italian cooking. And we like it a little bit spicy, so a couple spoonfuls of that. And then I'm just gonna blitz it up here, and we're ready to go. Oops, here, I forgot, a couple of cloves of garlic. We can't have pizza sauce without a little bit of garlic. Perfect. Here's my dough. It's been rising for an hour. Second rise, and I'm gonna just gently pick up one of these balls, cover up the rest. And I'm gonna start out with a classic, the pizza Margherita. I'm gonna just kind of gently pound this out. There's no rolling pin involved here. Just kind of pound it out, but I wanna make sure that I keep a nice edge on here, a nice crust. So I'm pounding, leaving a little crust, just using the tips of my fingers here. Tip it over, lightly dust, not too much flour, just enough. And I'm going to show you in Naples, they would slap the dough back and forth, but you're using the weight of the dough to stretch itself. Or else, the way we do it at the restaurant, we knuckle it. So just on your knuckles and kind of stretch the dough. You don't want to compromise the dough. You don't want any holes or thin spots here. So I'm going to let it rest a little bit. We'll stretch it a little bit more before we pop it in the oven. And the pizza Margherita is a pizza that was invented in 1889 when Queen Margherita, she was the queen consort of Italy. She was from the House of Savoy. She came to visit Naples. They were famous for pizza. So a pizza maker there presented her with an array of pizzas, and her favorite one was named after her, the pizza Margherita. She liked it because it had the San Marzano, the tomato, the red. It had the buffalo milk mozzarella, famous from the region, made from water buffalo milk, and basil. So those 3 colors represented the Italian flag, and it's been one of the most famous pizzas in the world ever since. So what I have here is some nice fresh basil, some olive oil, my sauce that I whipped up, and then I have this buffalo milk mozzarella. So this is a fresh mozzarella. Comes in these balls packed in a brine. So I want to pull it out of the brine, and I kind of want to just tear it up a little bit. It's really milky, very moist, so we don't want too much of this cheese on our pizza. We don't want a wet pizza. So I'm just going to tear up a few pieces, and we'll scatter these on the pizza. I'm going to add a little bit of pecorino romano to my pizza too, because I like that tangy, salty flavor of that Southern Italian grating cheese. And pecorino romano is a Roman-style cheese made from sheep's milk. It's kind of the Southern Italian equivalent of what Parmigiano Reggiano is in the north. So in order to get this pizza going, I have all my ingredients. This is my mise en place, everything in its place. And I'm going to just lightly flour this tool here. This is called a pizza peel. It's not a paddle, it's a peel. And when we're in the restaurant, we just kind of jump these pizzas right up here. We build them all out on a table and jump them right up onto the peel. It's a little bit of a more advanced technique. After this rests a little bit, it's easier to give it that second stretch. And you'll find in Naples, a lot of the pizzerias, they build the pizza right on here, top it, give it a little stretch, and then into the oven. So for this one, we want to have an economy of ingredients. In Italy, they don't overdo it. So you just have a light sauce, light cheese, light basil. I might go a little heavier on the basil because I just love the basil on here. So I've got my spicy red sauce that I made. Just a hint, like I said, a few little dollops of this milky water buffalo milk mozzarella that I have. And I should say some of these ingredients today were purchased at Whole Foods Market. This is not an advertisement for Whole Foods. It's just a thank you to my mother and father who sent Michelle and I a gift card for our anniversary this week. So they are actually getting producer credit for this episode. Thanks, Tim and Julie O'Halloran. So I have a light amount of the cheese, a little sprinkling of the pecorino romano. I like a little bit of olive oil right over the cheese, right over the top. And then a fair amount of the basil here. Then I want to make sure my pizza's not sticking. Come back in here, kind of stretch it to the edges as they do in Naples. Pull that pizza a little bit bigger. And then it's going to go right into my 500-degree oven. So I want to just gently slide that pizza right onto that hot stone and then quickly shut my oven. So my margherita is looking pretty good here. The bottom isn't getting too much of a char, so I'm gonna transfer it right to my oven rack and cook it right on the grates. Pizza number 2 today. I have a 16-year-old upstairs, Lucy. She did not want to participate in filming, but she does want to participate in pizza eating. So I'm going to make her favorite. Very simple. I once called a pizzeria in town and I ordered this. Pepperoni and banana pepper. They didn't have banana peppers. I asked why. They said, we don't believe in them. And Lucy said, they are idiots. So this is her favorite pie right here. While our pizza margherita is finishing, I will finish off this pizza for my daughter, Lucy's favorite, pepperoni banana peppers. So again, a light amount of the sauce. Don't want to overdo it, just enough to kind of coat, leaving a little edge on there for a little crispy crust. Then I have some whole milk mozzarella that I just cubed up. I bought a block of it, it's a little bit cheaper that way. Just with a knife, roughly cube it up, it'll spread out real nice on here. Again, a little bit of that sharp pecorino, some nice thick cut pepperoni, and then I have some banana peppers, and then a little bit of a peppadew pepper, which is a sweet red pepper that's also pickled. So these nice pickly flavors are real nice. A couple of pieces of cheese right on top. And then this one's going to go right in while our margherita finishes. Get a little bit of color on the bottom, not as much as we'd get in the restaurant, but not too bad for a home pie. Next up is my wife's favorite pizza. She calls it extra dangerous because in addition to a little bit of sauce, we're gonna crack an egg on top of the pizza halfway through the baking process so that yolk kind of mingles in there, and that makes it, as she calls it, dangerous. It's something we do quite a bit at the restaurant, top pizzas with eggs. So we have a pizza carbonara, which is really a dynamite pizza with bacon and egg on top. So for this one, again, light on the sauce. Just move that around. It's great to use a big spoon like this. You can use a ladle. Just a light amount. And now we like a lot of mushrooms here with this one. So this is a very heavy mushroom pizza. And then just a little bit of cheese. And then we're gonna pop this one in and we'll add that egg about halfway through the cooking process. This just in, she said, hey, what about sausage? I want sausage too. So here's some Fraboni sausage. We're gonna use Fraboni sausage twice today. This one and then the next one, which is a favorite, with spicy giardiniera. That one's coming up. That one's one inspired by Fraboni's Deli. So this one, I'm gonna give it a little bit of this raw sausage right over the top. It'll cook right in the oven. Like I said, I'm gonna leave a little bit of a spot here in the center where I'm gonna put my egg. That's pepperoni banana pepper. Ooh, that one looks good. That one got a little more char on the bottom, just the way I like it. Let's see how that sounds. I have this pizza cutter, I must admit, that I brought from the restaurant. But we have a little bit of a nice crisp crust on here. So like I said, very simple dough to make. It yields a really nice slice out of your home oven. So using that trick where you take it off the peel and put it onto your oven rack will crisp it a little bit more. And if you don't have a pizza stone, I just used a cookie sheet upside down and baked it on a pre-warmed aluminum cookie sheet. Works just the same. So here's our sausage mushroom pizza. So like I said, I'm gonna crack an egg right into the middle of that pizza. I'm gonna give it a little bit of salt and pepper over that egg because we always like to season the egg. And then I'm gonna stick this one in on my oven racks just until that egg is finished. The last pizza today is my tribute to Fraboni's Deli. Like I said, kind of been a partner in crime with us for 20 years, supplying all of our sausage, among other things, porchetta, different olive oils, specialty sausages at different times of the year. So this one, I'm gonna again lightly sauce it. The sauce has a lot of flavor and a lot of spice from that bomba calabrese, which is really delicious if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not, leave the chilies out, not a big deal. I'm going to add some nice baby arugula, and this is gonna wilt right on the pizza. This will be great. And then the fresh Italian sausage. We use the hot Italian. They have a hot and a sweet. The sweet is just not actually sugary. It just refers to not being spicy. And then the thing that really makes Italian sausage Italian, fennel seed. I'm gonna add some fennel seeds right on here. And a funny story, when I was in Italy for the first time, I realized, I was taught pretty bluntly, that they don't have Italian sausage in Italy. They just have sausage. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this mozzarella on there. Not a whole lot, scatter a little bit, really spreads out. And then the final thing, the coup de grace, as they say, hot giardiniera. So this is a pickled vegetable. Giardiniera means garden. Pickled spicy vegetables. There's some carrots, olives, and chilies. And this is really part of the immigrant experience. It's a Chicago Italian immigrant relish that they use on different things, mostly known on the Italian style beef sandwiches. But we love it on the pizza. So this one's gonna go in. This will be our last pizza. That one's in. Let's check our egg down here. Get that a grab here. Oop, looks like we need about 30 seconds and that egg will be perfect. All right, here's mushroom, sausage, and egg. That one looks beautiful. We'll let that rest for just a minute before we cut it. All right, here's our crispy pizza with a little egg, sausage, and mushroom. So you can see that makes the extra dangerous sauce in the middle. It looks just beautiful. All right, there's my final hot giardiniera and sausage pizza with some wilted arugula. So this is my no-knead pizza dough, thanks to the great baker, Jim Lahey. And I would suggest if you make this, make a batch, make a double batch, have a pizza party. We've been just eating them as they come out of the oven. The whole family kind of putters in here, grabs a slice, moves around, comes back when the next one comes out. It makes for a great night. Thanks for joining me. I hope you really try this out. Everybody stay home, stay safe. Remember, we're doing our back alley takeaway at Lombardino's. You can find out about that at lombardinos.com. And we're doing Thursday and Sunday nights, and we're going to slowly transition back to hopefully the new normal. And we're going to just take it slow and do the right thing. So I hope you enjoy everything, and this is some real Lombardino's. Thanks for watching.